Portia Chen Silverbird. I am a champion for women, immigrants, and community service. In this new series, You Belong Here, we will highlight important women, immigrant women from all around the world. You will hear about their stories, their successes, challenges, and this fulfills my mission of bridging the gap between immigrant women and community services. So I hope you will be inspired by taking action, engage in new community dialogue, and feel a sense of wholehearted belonging. Let's get started by looking at some of our famous faces. So what'd you think? People are not what they seem, right? I know. So I have with me three very special women, and you will get a chance to hear their stories. Gina Dalma with Silicon Valley Community Foundation, Sema Tosin with Fund a Need, and Gabrielle Liu, clinical psychologist. I think it's fascinating, right? We have someone from Taiwan, made in Taiwan, someone from Hong Kong, Turkey, and Mexico. It's quite a diverse geographic area, right? And I too, when my parents told me we were moving to the US, I had no idea what that meant, right? The first thing that jumped in my mind was, oh, yay, I get to meet Mickey Mouse, right? The power of the Disney company. But for you though, you were an adult, so it was a conscious choice. You actually wanted to come back. And what did your family think when you told them?
So they were excited for me. They were excited for my future in the United States. But of course, it was painful for them. It was painful for me. And you know what happens, I think, or what happened to us is that we didn't feel very much at home in Mexico. We're Mexican, we're immigrants, so this is home, but there's a little of you not here. And so my sister, who's been an immigrant for longer than I have, she's like, I belong in myself is in an airplane because I'm neither from there nor am I from here. So I think it's this is home. But I'm a more complicated person, right? There's several parts of you, and several parts of me feel at home in Mexico. Several parts of me feel at home here. So,
I think kind of to talk about someone coming at a very young age, like myself, it was exciting. It's like as soon as I heard, wow, we're going to America, I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. And I mean, you're a little kid, I can kind of barely remember the experience of getting on an airplane. But at the same time, even as a kid, I do remember some of the political turmoil that was going on in Turkey, and coming to America was truly that opportunity for a new life. In Turkey, even to this day, I'm sure we probably couldn't have this type of conversation openly in public TV because there's still a lot of oppression on that, people having freedom of speech. And you know, I never take it lightly or for granted, the opportunity that we have here to be able to say and to be able to really, you know, if you set your mind, you can achieve anything. And I'm living proof of that. My parents are living proof of that. And if I can motivate other people to do it, then, you know, that in itself is an American dream to me. So I'm very happy to be here.
That is so important to remind people that part of the American dream and part of our obligation as immigrant women is to give back. We work here, we live here, we play here. This is our community now, right? People might look at us because we're Asian and automatically assume we're immigrants. They may not look at you and think you're immigrant. They definitely won't think you're an immigrant by looking at you. But underneath it all, we really are all the same. And I think we all have the opportunity to give back. And it's really such a privilege to be able to find different ways to really serve and connect with the greater community and find common shared values. So given that we're wrapping up here, I want to hear if you have two things. If you have one suggestion, one easy tip you may offer to someone who has never done any giving, never done any volunteering or community service, what is one thing you can offer or suggest to them? And the second question I'd like to end our show on is, what is one thing you would like to share with the mainstream American who may not know anything about immigrants? So one thing about immigrants that you can share. Gina?
So I'll start with the second one because that's the easy one. Ask me. Ask me. Ask me about my country. Ask me about how I used to live there. Ask me about my environment. Ask me about history. Learn about Mexico. Do not assume. The recent or mostly the recent rhetoric around my country and its people has really minimized who we are in the conversation. And I come from one of the most sophisticated cities in the world. Ask me about it, right? Be curious. So I will say that. And the second, again, I've had the privilege through my work. I believe I am leading a purposeful life, and the philanthropic sector allows for that. I think many others do, but the philanthropic sector definitely. So be curious about it. Educate yourself in terms of what a board does. Educate yourself in terms of what our community needs are, and then just lean in. Become engaged. It's amazing to live a purposeful life.
It is. It is. It's a gift and a blessing. Yeah. What about you, Gabrielle?
I agree with you that dialogue is really important. That having this dialogue and able to learn from each other, and learning also to hold tension between the difference between each other. That would be really important, especially given the seasons and the time that we are in. Having a dialogue, open dialogue, would be really important.